When you think of Wasaga Beach, you probably think of sun and sand, right? Well, there's a quiet transformation happening right now. Today, we're going to lay out a strategic path for the town to not just embrace this change, but to really lead it, building a stronger, year-round economy for everyone.
All right, let's get right into it. The first thing you need to know is that the story of Wasaga's future, well, it's already being told, right in the data. We're seeing some pretty powerful shifts that are completely redefining what this community is all about. Get this, between 2015 and 2020, the number of jobs right here in Wasaga Beach jumped by an incredible 15%. And that's not just a tiny little uptick. No, this is a real surge of economic energy, and it's our first big clue that something major is going on. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. When you put that 15% into perspective, you see just how amazing it is. Wasaga Beach's job growth didn't just keep up with the region, it completely blew past it, growing faster than both Simcoe County and even the province of Ontario as a whole. Something special is happening here, for sure. So who's taking all these new jobs? You know, for a long time, the town was seen as a place to retire, but that's not the whole story anymore. Since 2016, the fastest growing groups of people moving here have been young adults and working-age professionals. Wasaga Beach is becoming a real magnet for a younger, more dynamic workforce. So we've got all this great momentum. The big question is, what do we do with it? How does the town actually harness this energy? Well, lucky for us, we don't have to look far for a great example. Our neighbors in Collingwood are already building a blueprint that we can learn a lot from. See, Collingwood didn't just hope for the best. They made a plan. A really clear, powerful vision. They are actively working to become a center for innovation, focusing on the industries of tomorrow to attract that modern, skilled workforce. They've put a stake in the ground, and it's working. And here's what that looks like on the ground. A project like the Hume Hub isn't just about putting up a building. This is a statement piece. It shows a real commitment to creating the kind of place where a modern knowledge economy can thrive, by literally blending where people live with where they create and innovate. So you see, they're not just crossing their fingers and hoping for growth, they are actively engineering it. They're building a whole ecosystem with their Tech Hub North, a business accelerator to help startups get off the ground, and a serious focus on quality of life stuff like housing. It's all designed to attract and, more importantly, to keep the best people. Okay, so this brings up a really important question for Wasaga Beach. We've got this new wave of workers showing up and a successful model right next door. But are our own rules actually ready for this new kind of economy? If you dig into the town's business licensing bylaw, you start to see where there might be a bit of a roadblock. It's a solid document, don't get me wrong, but it was built for a different world. You know, a brick-and-mortar world of physical shops and tangible products. I mean, the rules we have make perfect sense for certain businesses. They're very specific, and they need to be. There are detailed rules about how to build a kennel. You know, the nitty-gritty operational details for a food truck, right down to having a plan for grease spills. And even the super specific record-keeping you need for a tow truck. These rules are great for these businesses. But here's the thing. What about all the businesses that don't have a physical footprint at all? And that's where the knowledge worker comes in. We're talking about software developers, marketing consultants, graphic designers, people working from a home office. Their biggest asset is what's in their head. Their impact on the neighborhood is practically zero. But you know what isn't zero? Their positive impact. They bring in a stable, year-round income that gets spent at local cafes, shops, and restaurants. Now, here is the absolute key to all of this. The town's own bylaw already gets this idea. It specifically exempts home-based telemarketing from certain rules. And why? Because there are no customers walking up to the door. Well, a modern knowledge worker is exactly the same. No foot traffic, no signs, no disruption to the neighborhood. It's the exact same principle, and we can apply it to welcome a whole new wave of entrepreneurs. So how do we grab this historic opportunity? Well, the good news is we don't have to reinvent the wheel. The path forward is actually pretty clear. It's a simple, three-step plan to build a stronger, more diverse future for Wasaga Beach. Step 1. Let's modernize the rules. Send a clear signal that Wasaga is open for business, for this kind of business. Step 2. Invest in the support system that's already here, helping all our local businesses. And Step 3. We have to tackle the housing problem head-on, because talented people need a place to live. Now, that second point about investing in the South Georgian Bay's Small Business Enterprise Center, that is so important, and here's why. It creates this amazing ripple effect.
It isn't just a place for tech startups. This is the same center that can help a recent grad from a trades program start their own plumbing business, or a hospitality grad open a catering company. It lifts up the entire entrepreneurial community. And look, none of this works without tackling the final piece of the puzzle, housing. To get the workers we need for the new high school, the popular wellness village, and this growing knowledge economy, we have to solve this. Right now, more than a quarter of households here are facing housing challenges. And let's be honest, the biggest one is just plain affordability. Building attainable housing, especially along that Beechwood corridor that connects us to Collingwood, is absolutely essential.
So you take these 3 steps together. You update the rules, you invest in our local entrepreneurs, and you build the housing people need. And you get a whole new reality for Wasaga Beach, a town with a diverse, resilient, year-round economy where these innovative new industries don't push out our traditional small businesses, but actually thrive right alongside them. So where do we go from here? The momentum is undeniable. The demographic shift is happening as we speak. A successful blueprint is right there next door. The question isn't if Wasaga Beach is going to change anymore. The question is, how will we choose to shape that change? The opportunity is right in front of us. The time to act is now.